Well, hello and welcome to My Counselor Online. My name is Matthew, and I want to introduce you to one of our counselors here at My Counselor Online, Paul. Paul, would you give us a little bit of your background and tell us a little bit about your story as a counselor?
You bet. Yeah. Um, I'm actually a little bit later in life as far as coming to counseling. I guess that's attributable a little bit to my stubbornness, maybe, um, or willfulness. I don't know. Um, yeah, I didn't come to counseling until I was into my 40s. Uh, Taught high school, Navy. I was prior service Navy. Had the honor and the privilege of being able to serve. Um, Coached for a season, well, multiple seasons, but a season of life. Baseball and cross country were my two loves there. Um, and spent some time at the university level on staff. But through all of that, I had a competence in the math and sciences, but I just never found uh, my heart's call, if you will. And through time and God leading, through different mentors in my life, through different experiences, God opened the door and said, "Hey, look, this is what I made you for."
Mm.
So much later in life, I wound up pursuing a degree in counseling. And yeah, I've finally feel like I'm where God created me to be.
Yeah, I mean, Navy teaching sounds like you've been a counselor for a lot longer than you're letting on. So,
There might be something to that. I don't know.
yeah,
Certainly,
probably
there was
is.
a season of preparation there, no doubt.
Oh, definitely so. So, tell us how you got involved with My Counselor Online.
Well, I was actually in a clinic here in San Antonio and thought I had kind of found my home for my forever home. Really had no intention of leaving. It's a great location, great place, great people. Um, but God began moving my heart. I actually um, wound up attending a school of spiritual direction with Larry Crabb in October 2020. And God started moving me in a way that um, I couldn't stand still. I couldn't remain where I was, and not in terms of that location, but God had started moving my heart in a different direction. Um, in the midst of that, I was actually I didn't go looking for a new job. I didn't know where God was leading, um, but I was actually with a client. We were going over some career stuff, and I gave him some pointers and some advice. And in the midst of that, something popped up, and it was My Counselor Online. Um, and I thought, what an interesting place. That sounds really unique.
Mhm.
And so I clicked on it, and I clicked again. And the more I clicked through, uh, the more I felt a peace and a compelling to keep moving. Um, and yeah, God opened the door and pushed me through, in a sense.
As he often does, right?
Most certainly.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the clients. Clients do you typically thrive alongside?
Well, in terms of the clients I thrive alongside, I'll go back when I first started in counseling. The first community that I started with was domestic violence,
Mhm.
um, and started in a really difficult setting. Um, Saw a lot of pain and a lot of hurt, um, a lot leading up to, and a lot of resulting from.
Mm.
Um, Moved from domestic violence into the addiction community, and through all of that, I think God used me during in those seasons. But as he does, he was also preparing me. Um, from there, I've done a lot of individual counseling in with trauma, trauma victims. I've done a lot of work, anxiety, depression, um, and more recently have moved back into working with couples and families, and just really enjoy coming alongside folks and helping them um, find joy themselves again through the hard times, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's good. Definitely needed,
yeah.
what you're doing. So speak directly to maybe a potential client. What can a client expect in a session with you?
Yeah, Matthew, um, my hope for what a client will meet when they meet with me. I'm actually going to point to probably the highest compliment that I've ever received as a professional, and it came from one of my clients. And he, at the end of a particularly difficult session, he paused. He said, "Paul, you hear me."
Hmm.
Um, and it even stirs me now when I think about that. And that's what I strive for. And I think by God's grace, he gifted me um, to hear people, to see people um, in the midst of brokenness, right? And whether you're a prodigal son or an older brother, um, we're all broken, right?
Mhm.
Me among all of them. And I've seen a lot of brokenness, but I've never seen brokenness without hope.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. You said that he just wanted to be heard. I mean, that's,
Mm.
you pay attention to the news, you pay attention to everything around our culture. I think that's key. People just want to be heard.
Yeah. And there's a difference between listening and hearing.